Hello and welcome to It's Called Football. In today's podcast, me and Liam are going to be doing a World Cup semi-final preview as well as a roundup of the quarter-final games. So Liam, if you want to start off with your thoughts on Croatia versus Brazil.
Yeah, Croatia versus Brazil. The ending scoreline was 1-1, but however, Croatia actually came out 4-2 winners on penalties. The Croatia goal scorer was Petkovic on the 117th minute, and the Brazilian goal scorer was Neymar in 105 plus 1 minute. Uh, it was actually quite a shock result. Everyone thought Brazil would be one of the sort of favourites to win the whole World Cup. The last couple last minutes goal from Croatia put it to 1-1. The and also sent it to penalties. The penalty takers for Brazil that who missed were Rodrigo and Marquinhos, and the ones who scored were Pedro and Casemiro. The goal scorers in the penalty shootout for Croatia was Vlasic, Meyer, Modric, and Orsic, who all scored their penalties to knock out Neymar and their Brazilian team. Neymar obviously distraught. He wanted to win the World Cup, but the Croatian goalkeeper Livakovic he saved a total of 11 shots and he practically kept Croatia in it. So if it weren't for him, I don't think Croatia would have won that game.
Yeah, he starred, and like you said earlier, I think everyone thought Brazil were going to cruise past. There were a lot of people's favourites, but they just couldn't find a way past them. I think you said that Brazil dominated, but I think in the midfield, Croatia did. I think that Modric, Brozovic, and Kovacic trio were unreal. They were my predicted dark horses for the tournament. They've shown everyone why. One player I do want to talk about, because I think he played really well and I'd never seen him before, was Juranovic. He was a right back, but he kept pushing forward, coming back, stopping Brazil from getting a chance and then creating some for Croatia up the other end. So he really stood out for me, especially in the first half. Croatia managed the game really well. I don't think they allowed Brazil to have the ball too much. Once it got into extra time, Brazil had a lot more possession. But I think whenever they did get past that back line, like you said, he's just been unbelievable. And I think a lot of teams in Europe are going to be looking at him. Bayern Munich are already looking at that. Obviously, Neuer has just broken his leg on holiday and he's coming to the end of his career. So there's a possibility for him to be making a move to Bayern Munich off the back of this World Cup.
Croatia are always a team that you can't just knock at, like just disregard in the tournament. They always just seem to do really well. They always play well as a team. We might see France go to the final and Croatia go to the final. So a replay of the previous World Cup, I'm fairly sure. They could get potentially win this. Anything could happen.
Yeah, they've done really well. And for such a small country as well, they're flying higher than we thought they would. Croatia are through to the semi-finals for a second time in a row. The question I have for you, because there was a lot of controversy surrounding it, was Neymar not stepping up first to take the penalty. Obviously people said he was selfish because he wanted to take the fifth
Yeah.
one and get the glory. So I was just wondering what your thoughts were on that.
Yeah, I think it's arrogance, if anything. I think Neymar knows he's one of the best in the world and has been for a while. If he sees his name in the headline, sorry, and like saying Neymar scores winning penalty, it's all about him then. And yeah, I think it is more arrogance than anything. And if he had taken one of those first ones, Rodrigo's a young lad, Marquinhos is a defender. They don't between them, they've probably not taken many penalties. So yeah, I think picking the fifth one was a bit arrogant and a bit selfish of him.
Do you think he'll regret it now?
Probably 100%. Yeah, I think he knows he would have scored his.
Netherlands versus Argentina.
Again, was another draw. Netherlands 2, Argentina 2, but Argentina winning 4-3 on penalties. The goal scorers for Netherlands was Wout Weghorst for Burnley, scoring two, one in the 83rd minute and one in the 90 plus 11th minute, literally last kick of the game. Argentina goal scorers was Molina in the 35th minute and Messi with a penalty in the 73rd minute. Obviously went to penalties. Argentina won 4-3 on pens. Van Dijk and Berghuis missed their penalties for Netherlands. Koopmeiners, Weghorst and De Jong scored theirs. Messi, Paredes, and Montiel and Martinez all scored their penalties despite Fernandez missing his. Argentina still went on to win the game on pens. I've got to say, it might be a bit kind of biased coming from me being a goalkeeper, but the heroics from Martinez really kept Argentina in the game overall and won the game for them.
Yeah, like you said, it was a great game for the neutrals and arguably one of the best games of the tournament. I mean, it had absolutely everything. There were fights, penalties, goals. Netherlands looked down and out, like you said, 2-0 down. But that double from Weghorst saved the Netherlands to take the game to extra time. That second goal, the intelligence to play that pass from the free kick. Obviously, it was a routine,
Yeah,
but to
definitely.
take it on and pull it off, and then for Weghorst to be calm to just roll it past Martinez, especially as you said, he had a brilliant game, Martinez. So to just be calm and roll it past him with the stakes that high, I thought was really good. I think if Netherlands had gone on to win, that would probably be a goal for the Dutch history books. Unfortunately, though, they didn't. Emi Martinez had a great penalty shootout performance, saving the first two penalties. Lautaro Martinez scored the winner, so it'll be Argentina facing Croatia in the semi-finals. Next game is Morocco versus Portugal. Now, Morocco made history in their first ever quarter-final in a World Cup. We spoke about dark horses earlier with Croatia, but I think Morocco should really be the ones to take the title this tournament, because considering they were in a group with Croatia, Belgium and Canada, I think it's a shock that they got out of it, let alone top in the group. And then to get this far, beating Spain and now Portugal, is a massive achievement. In this game, Ronaldo was benched again, with hat-trick hero Gonçalo Ramos replacing him, although he didn't impress nearly as much as he did in the round of 16. Morocco's goal came from En Nesyri, the Sevilla striker. It was an impressive header that he had to leap really high for. Ironically, it was quite Ronaldo-esque. A great time to score as well, just before the break. At full time, the emotions varied massively. Moroccan players were dancing with their mums while the Portuguese were in tears. And I think the big highlight in the media of the defeat was obviously Ronaldo losing his chance to win a World Cup. So firstly, Liam, how big is that win for Morocco? But also, what is next for Cristiano Ronaldo?
I think the fact that Morocco have already gone this far, considering the people they've had to play against, the group they were in, like you said, is already a win for them. If they get to the final, they are honestly, they are the biggest underdogs in World Cup history, in my opinion. I think nobody expected. Obviously, I mean, I did say at the start that Belgium would struggle, but I mean, I think Morocco, nobody expected them really to get out of the group, and now they're in the semi-final of the World Cup. As for Cristiano Ronaldo, I mean, I doubt he'll be in another World Cup unless he does do it, because he is the type of guy to push himself, and I can still see him playing for maybe 1 or 2 more years. Cristiano Ronaldo, his World Cup time might be up now, and it's quite sad to see, but I think it would have been a hard feat for him to do anyway.
Final game for the quarterfinals was England versus France. As England fans, me and Liam aren't going to enjoy talking about this one, as France beat us 2-1. They took the lead with a drilled finish from Real Madrid to Tchouaméni. England actually played really well, I think, and personally, the referee, he had a shocker. It was incredibly unfair. I think lots of decisions went France's way. We were fouled so many times, especially Saka, but no free kicks were being given. Harry Kane made it 1-1 after a foul finally was given inside the penalty area. He obviously sent Lloris the wrong way to give us a little bit of hope. We kept pushing to take the lead, but we couldn't quite get there. And when Giroud scored, everyone felt deflated. It was a great header, but it wasn't the first time that Giroud had beaten our defenders in the box to get a shot away. Mason Mount was fouled in the box again, but obviously the ref didn't give it until VAR told him to look at the obvious mistake he'd made. Harry Kane had the chance to get us back in the game, but blazed it over the bar, meaning that the dream of football coming home is delayed by at least another 18 months.
It's very sad to see. I think Kane. I mean, arguably, I think someone else could have taken that second penalty. I think scoring the first penalty would have really sort of given him too much confidence. Like you said, the referee was very poor, but you can't knock France. Hugo Lloris had a great game. Griezmann, 2 assists for like both of their goals, had a great game. It is just very sad to kind of talk about as a true England fan, and yeah, not coming home this time.
You said about the pressure and that maybe somebody else should have taken it, but Harry Kane's on what, 250, 300 grand a week? Do you think as a striker on that much money that plays at Premier League top club, that level every single week, do you think maybe you should have been scoring that and that the mentality should have been a bit better?
As a striker on that much money playing in the Premier League, probably the best English strike, well, definitely the best English striker at the moment. You'd at least expect him to hit the target.
So after these four fixtures, the semi-finals are Argentina versus Croatia and France versus Morocco. Liam, what do you think is going to happen in the Argentina versus Croatia game?
I think Argentina versus Croatia is going to be a battle of like skill versus will, I think is the best way to put it. I think Modric and Messi probably being probably the last World Cup for Modric, and could be one more for Messi, but I very much doubt it. If you're looking at it on paper, I think Argentina should come out winners here. Croatia, like we said before, you can't count out Croatia. However, when Argentina have got that skill and that level of just being able to play football, I think you can't really say they wouldn't win that game. So yeah, for me, Argentina will come out on top and go into the final.
Yeah, I think this is going to be the more exciting game of the two. I think they've both gone the distance to get to this point. Both had to go to penalties in the previous round. I think if this game goes to penalties, it's going to be a lot harder for Croatia, who've sort of been looking for it. They went to penalties to Japan, and then against Brazil, they've sort of been seeing out that 30 minutes of extra time to go to pens. But this time, I think Argentina have prepared for the scenario just as well as them. We saw in the Netherlands game about Emi Martinez being amazing. I think Croatia will probably dominate the midfield again, and if they can create chances, I don't see why they couldn't beat Argentina. But ultimately, I think Argentina will win. There are a lot of people's favourites to win the World Cup. They've just got a different mentality to all the other countries that seems to get them over the line. Their fans have been unbelievable. Lots of the matches have been like home games with the amount of supporters they've had in Qatar. So I think that advantage of the 12th man will be what helps them win the game. But again, it's going to be a really exciting one.
Do you think they'll be able to withstand that pressure though? Obviously, Messi being in like the semi-final, getting to the final, like they've never won the World Cup. Do you think they'll be able to withstand that pressure?
I think they will. I don't think it's a pressure. I think a lot of the players that are playing around Messi, it's like a motivation. Like we could be the players to get Messi the trophy he's never been able to get his hands on. He's won pretty much everything else in football over the 20 years he's been playing. This is the last one. This is it. I think a lot of them you see in interviews, like they just idolize him. And I think it won't be pressure. It will just be like motivation that we could be the people that win Messi's first World Cup. Like this will go down in history. France versus Morocco. What do you think about that one?
Again, I think it'll be Morocco have had a fantastic run and you can't take it from them. But beating France here will be mission impossible for them, I think. Like I said before, I think it will be Messi versus Mbappe in the final, having old versus young. And I mean, if you want to look at it in a different way, teacher versus learner at PSG. Morocco will find it very hard to win the game, struggle. I expect France to get a comfy win here, to be fair. And yeah, an Argentina versus France World Cup could be what we're looking at.
Morocco have proved themselves, so you can't doubt that they know how to defend against top quality players. But like you said, there's only so long the fairy tale can last, and I think this is going to be it when they play France. Even without Benzema, Kante, Pogba, and Nkunku, they've been great to watch and a real threat going forward. Giroud's in great form, and Mbappe, of course, is going to play well. So I think credit to Morocco. They have made history. They're the first African team to reach a semi-final. But I think their time's up and France are going to outclass them on the night. We've both gone for an Argentina-France final. If that is the case, I think it's pretty much an impossible one to predict. But what a game it would be to end what's been an amazing World Cup so far. So we're going to end the podcast here. Thank you for listening, and we'll be back very soon with another one.